Good evening, Willing. Nice evening, summer evening. Strong and powerful cosmic energies, full of light. Very nice. So, we will start new cycles of living light inductions from this evening. And as every circle moving, it's coming to its beginning. We have rounded up quite some body of knowledge and techniques. Each induction and healing session is really powerful and can stand alone. And also each element of each induction we did can stand alone. So my idea is to come back to beginnings of this work and retrace our steps. There is a lot of meaning in it because the purpose is not to gather more and more information. Information is not knowledge. Knowledge comes from the awareness of the results of experience. So you first have information, then you check it, discern it, accept it or discard it, of course, apply it, and when you have experience of an application, then you can draw conclusions, become aware of these results, and that is forming a real knowledge. And every practice in the wheel system is really simple. Explanation of the practice or the theory behind it may sound like it's complicated. Sometimes I use some words that may not be so simple, but the practice itself is always really simple. For example, abdominal breathing, just awareness of breathing. There are numerous methods and paths that are using breath as a vehicle, as an object of concentration, I would say. And there are many fully enlightened teachers who achieved full enlightenment just by being aware of the breath. Simple breath awareness. So you can say, wow, it's just breathing, okay, some energy. No. From the beginning to the end of the path of development, you can just follow this simple exercise of abdominal breathing awareness, or listening to the sounds, or thoughts, or let alone I am awareness, awareness of your I am, just staying in yourself, and so on and so forth. So my point is that every step, every element even of the induction in wheel system is really simple, is natural, and if it is practiced diligently, there is no limits in development. So that is the reason why I want us to go back and proceed in baby steps in order to appreciate beauty and simplicity of every element of the practice. And hopefully, on my side, to inspire you, to really motivate you, to really practice it. Like practice it as a discipline, if possible, that is like morning or evening routine, or not or, but even more importantly, when you are under any kind of pressure, stress, when you are not in a balanced state, then to apply, practice, and exercise that is its main purpose. I worked a lot for many years and still am as how you would call it, as a trainer for psychological preparation for sports people. So psychological training, and mainly in tennis. And in tennis is such a kind of sport where emotional balance and mental clarity is of utmost importance. In all sports, but in tennis, kind of even more than in other sports. Just this abdominal breathing. For example, you have a set point or a match point and high expectations, high emotions, high adrenaline. 3 breaths with your stomach. And immediately you go into balanced state, present, focused, and you can play then. So today's topic is center. Center. What is center? What is its function and role? Any center. First of all, everything has a center. Everything. Atom has a core, has a center. Solar system has a sun, has a center. Human cell has a core, has a center. And in that center, in that central core, that is actually seat of intelligence. DNA, which is a hardware for life programs. So central processor, carrying all the life programs, all instructions, how cells should function, is not in the membrane or within the volume of the cell. It's in its center. Also, center of the organ. In the center of every organ, there is a command cell. And that cell has exclusively informational function. Not metabolic, not physiological, informational function. So it's a command center, holding all the programs for the functioning of that organ, or the same with the organ system and organism as a whole. Every object, sentient or insentient, any form, has its center. And center of any form is a seat of its intelligence, so to speak. So we can say also that whole creation, universe, better to say omniverse, has its own center as well. On universal level, galaxy represents a cell, macro cell. Like one star system is atom, star constellation is molecule, and galaxy is a cell of the universal body of universe, you would say. There is a center of the galaxy. And in that center exists intelligence. or DNA for the functions of galaxy as a structure. So on any level of existence, micro or macro level, intelligence is seated in the center. So omniversal body or body of omniverse must have its own center, which is the seat of cosmic intelligence. Where lies all the programs for the functioning of all creation, all omniverse. You can call it center of all centers. And we can call this omniversal macro center a creator. Creator. Why? Because all the creation stems out of the center, of that center, and it is sustained, maintained, and developed from that center. That's the seat of all life programs. So I'm just explaining what I mean when I say creator. It's neither male nor female. It's not personal or impersonal. I don't care. That's not an issue for me. That's not a question. You can have your own impression or idea what is created for you, whatever works for you. When I say creator, I'm speaking about creative function of the central intelligence of the universe. So it's just a name for the function, for the structure or the center that is executing this function, this creativity, giving birth to everything created. So whether you look at it scientifically or religiously, mystically, esoterically, in any way, there is a creative center for whole life. And I call it creator. So, whatever, any function, any activity that is in accord with the life programs set by the creator will be supported and developed by the life itself. They are in accord, in harmony with life. Any function, any activity that is not in accord with the life programs coded, set by the creator, they won't be supported by the life, you would say. That's a deformation. So, in order to have full life, we need to harmonize at the beginning our conscious actions, and with the time subconscious and unconscious as well, with the life programs set by the creator. So, as a unified name of all these life programs, I use the word will. So when I say will of creator, I mean all the life programs that are set by the core of Omniverse as the law how all life should function throughout the creation. That's the will of creator. And human will is also a sum of all our ideas, emotions, needs, desires, habits, all functions on a physiological, psychological, spiritual level, any level, they all sum up into one simple action driven by our will. So when I say it's my will to do it, it means that all of my personality is focused and unified into that specific direction. So if you harmonize your thoughts with the will of Creator, any activity driven by your emotions will not be in sync with Creator's will, or by desires, or by needs, or by habits. So it's best to use this integrated approach into human activity and call it simply will. So this healing session we will do today aims at harmonizing human will and Creator's will, which is a foundation for any development, thus harmonizing micro-universe with macro-universe. It's logical, isn't it? Everything has its center. Obviously, it's a fact. Any intelligence is seated in the center, and harmony with the programs held within that center secure continuous and harmonious development of that form of life, or any form. Hence, on a macro-universal level, there must be also a center as a seat of macrocosmic intelligence, and in order to be in accord with life, to be supported by the life in our endeavor, in our will for life, we need to harmonize our own will with the will of Creator, which is sum total of all the life programs seated within the center of all centers. I think it's clear. If it's not, please ask any question or you want to add something to it. Okay, let's do it. So sit comfortably, relax. You can close your eyes, you don't need to. And just bring your attention to your breath. Inhalation, stomach is going up. Exhalation, stomach is going down. Simply observe it. No any forcing or trying to change the rhythm, the pace. Natural breathing. With every exhalation, you can feel how you become calmer, calmer. Mind is settling down. Repeat mentally after me. Creator, harmonize my will with your will, please. Repeat mentally after me. Thank you. So simple. So you can practice this anytime of a day or night, in any situation, any number of times. Simply repeat mentally, say mentally, ask Creator. You can use your words. It's not a formula. The meaning is important to harmonize your will with the Creator's will. We ask for a help because we are not fully controlling our will. Quite sometimes our will is controlling us. So that was really nice. Thank you for your participation. And now we will do induction of living light, which is omnipresent. Living light is everywhere. That is the substance of creation, the main material from which life is built up, created. Any form of life can be reduced to the coded light, codes in living light. Naturally, this light is everywhere, permeating all forms, on all levels, informational, energy, material level, in all dimensions. Induction means concentration, accumulation. So we are gathering that what is already here, focusing it and accumulating it. Similar like we use lens to focalize sunlight. And during the day, sunlight is everywhere, but you focalize it and in that way amplify it, accumulate heat through the lens. Any induction practice serves as a lens. But there is one lens that is pre-existing. The main lens, and that is this, we feel its effect, although it has a structure, and that this effect of that concentration, that induction of living light, we feel, we experience as I am feeling. So this I, the very self, is first and basic induction of living light. You are that. And you don't need to do any special exercise or technique or practice. That's Creator's practice, His exercise. He created this lens to focalize living light and create in its focal point concentration and accumulation of living light, intelligent living light. Our subjective experience of that focal point is I, or our very self. And we feel it in the center of the chest. That is true human chest. True human center, excuse me. I thought ran a few steps ahead. So, why I say human center? Because center of the body is not in the chest. Gravitational center of the body is slightly below the navel. That's intersection or vertical and horizontal axis of the body. That's center of the body. And then there is a center of the mind, but there is a center of the soul. And center of all centers for a human being is in the center of the chest, where we have this feeling of I am. What we will do today is to benefit from that already existing process, continuous, eternal process of induction, living light, just to connect with it by simply bringing our attention and the feeling of the self or presence into that point in the center of the chest. There are two entrance points, legitimate entrance points. There are exit points as well. But there is a main entrance which is to come from above. So you bring your attention from the head and enter the center of the chest, enter your heart space from above. That's main entrance. And that main entrance is usually open, but sometimes it's not. Especially when we are under some kind of pressure, stress, when we are not in a balanced state, you would say, you will find it to be kind of difficult to enter the center from above. In that case, you should use backdoor. Backdoor is always open 24/7. It's for personal only, and you always have a key, eye scan or whatever, and you are in. So it means that you go behind your back, like you see your back in front of you. You bring your attention behind your back and enter the heart space from behind. And you are immediately in the center of the heart space when you come from the back door. Our feeling I am has its own volume. It's kind of a space. But today we will concentrate on the center of that space, where something I call I point exists. That's this focal point. So when you say I, initially that's minute point in the center of the heart space. All you need to do is to merge your attention, your feeling of presence with that central point and stay there. As your mind wanders or different body sensations occur, pleasant, unpleasant, different emotions happen, you can waver from that center point with your attention, like you're thrown out of it. And whole task is to bring your attention back and not to simply stay passive in that center, but to dive into it more and more and more. As you practice this, you will see that abyss. You think this is minute point of light. As you bring more attention to it, you will see how it opens up and you can find even smaller point within it. It's like it is compressing. You go deeper and deeper into micro universe, focusing on this tiny point of light that says and that feels and that knows I am. That's the I point. Is it clear? Yes. You know, that's you. We are speaking about you. It's not something, it's someone, it's you. So it should be so easy and so natural, not just to find it, but to live from it, to act, to think, to feel from it. First step is to find it, of course. Precisely to find it, to locate it as this minute point. Okay, let's do it. We are sitting comfortably, leave your pencils. As you breathe naturally, bring your attention to the center of the head. Just feel your head. Be aware the center of the head. That's the seat of awareness. And bring your attention downwards through the neck into the chest cavity. Inhalation, exhalation. With every exhalation, you dive deeper and deeper, entering the heart space. Where you can differentiate a specific feeling is different from the rest of the chest cavity. It's kind of denser feeling, maybe warmer, but you can clearly detect this difference when you enter heart space. Move towards the center of the heart space. Bring your attention to the tiny point in the center of the chest. Just stay there. We don't have any plan, expect nothing, accept everything. Whole intention, our will is to be what we truly are. This tiny center within the heart space that is our own very self. Feel how with every exhalation this center contracts, concentrates more and more, like this point becomes smaller and smaller, yet not moving from its location. You may feel how your attention slips to a side, like falls to the left, to the right, or downwards below it or above it. Just fall from it, or you lose completely attention on the inner center, following some thought or emotion or body sensation or some sensual experience, impression, some sound. The moment you notice that, simply bring your attention back and continue to dive into this minute point. Actually, it is so small that it doesn't have any dimension, any mass. It's more a notion of the self than a feeling. Notion not as an idea or a thought, but as a direct experience of your own self. You can feel waves of living light expanding throughout the body and mind. Different experiences and sensations may rise up. It's all side effect. We don't care. We're neutral towards it. We don't want to play with these experiences. Simply keep your attention to this point which is in the center of the heart space. Thank you. Anyone would like to share? Or do you have any questions? I would like to hear your experiences, please. If you will. Yes, Lisa. You're trying? You, no, no.
I can definitely share something whilst
Please.
everyone is deciding. um, just to understand how different it is when you do this in a group and when you do it on your own. Very different feeling.
Yes.
Yes. Hmm. It's definitely deeper when you come together with other people to do it. Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
I agree. I agree. Simply, power of concentration is stronger in the group, but the experience itself is the same. But simply, it's easier to concentrate. Like it's easy to read a book in a library. You have atmosphere for reading. Others are reading as well, so there is this resonance. Thank you, Lisa. My main question is, have you managed to pinpoint this tiny point, eye point, in the center of the chest? And how you experience it? How do you perceive it? Yes, Lynn, please.
Thank you, Igor. That
You're
was
welcome.
particularly powerful this evening, as Louisa said, with the group being together. How I perceived it, yes, there was a real deep dropping down, and it felt uncomfortable. Just for a moment, there felt like a deep, pressure, almost that I couldn't expand the lungs. It was a kind of, but it didn't really completely go, but the body could relax into the feeling of it. So there was comfort with it, but it felt very powerful. There was it felt like it was waves. It was and there was a color to it. I don't want to, because it's an experience, but it moved a lot today. I haven't ever experienced that before. So very, very powerful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, because it's a process of induction. That's why this movement and waves, because intelligent light is concentrated more and more. That was our intention today. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to share? Okay. Yes, Barty, please.
Yeah. One of the I've had a headache for 3 days, and it's just disappeared. And I was going into my eye, my eye point, and then I thought, when this is finished, I must find the center of this headache. But I never got a chance to actually work on that. But the headache's gone.
Excellent.
So now all I feel is a light head, but the actual headache is gone.
Excellent.
So, yeah, very powerful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there is a reason why I called this first part a healing session. This harmonizing human will with the Creator's will. That heals everything on all levels. So you don't need to specify. You can as well, but staying in your center brings balance to all the levels of your existence. And since you are, Bhakti, practicing this I am awareness for quite some time now, was it any difference today? Yes, Lynn.
It was a lot more intense.
Yeah, a different experience, kind of. Or not?
Not for me today. It wasn't. I think I was quite focused on my
headache.
And
Yeah.
I forgot to focus on the
Okay.
yeah. But I was just, as I opened my eyes and I thought, oh gosh, my headache's gone.
I understand. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Thank you, Barty. Thank you. Yes, Louisa.
I can tell you how different it was today, the sensation of the I amness.
Yeah.
It was like a familiar, warm fuzziness. As normally it's difficult to find, but today was like, whew, like it almost like sucked me in, and it was nice, warm and fuzzy. It was like I was like, oh yay, I'm home.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
Exactly. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lynn was faster, split second than you, Katerina.
Sorry, Katerina. I just really wanted to say,
Please
just
do.
adding on to that was, as Louisa said, the intense heat. So there was, it was a deep, deep purple in its fluctuation, and then the heat was intense, but it was an internal like self-combusting. But for me, very different to experience to what I've experienced before. And it was almost like, for a moment, it was a bit of a shock. It was like, oh, that's different. I've not experienced that before. It really was like really deeply going into the center, Igor. So very different, but fantastic.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will do this on a regular basis. And what I want to, in all the inductions, because what I want to show you, it's always different. It's continuously changing as you dive deeper and deeper. It's never dull. It's never boring. It's not like staring in the point on a piece of paper. its living point. So it's always interesting and always attractive for our attention. Thank you. Yes, Katrina.
Well, thank you. I must say I struggle to really hold my concentration, and that's not usually the case for me. I think I was feeding off lots of other, probably because we're doing it in a group setting. But I would say that when the journey to the I am point,
Yeah.
I saw something I haven't seen before, which was like a real crystallized isotope sort of shape central light that was
Mhm.
it was very bright and quite a dark setting, and it felt like a moth just attracted to the light, and it just zoomed straight in, and it's not something I've experienced before, and it was really enjoyable. But I must say my mind was just off playing all sorts of weird and wonderful things with me. But the heat piece I felt in my hands, just even from the healing that we did earlier, it's still resonating in my hands. The vibrations that I was picking up from other people as well, really quite strong tonight. It's really enjoyable. I had to keep looking out the window thinking, what? Should I come into the room? Really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Katrina. Thank you. Yes, definitely. There are lots of. My intention this evening was not to do long preparation to align ourselves, but to go more or less directly into it, for us to feel all these kind of resistances that exist as specific structures and layers around the eye point. And it can be pierced through, and with some practice, this natural effortless concentration is achieved. Okay, thank you. So, thank you all so much for your kind presence and our co-work. And see you in 10, 11 days. 11 days.